Wednesday. How's everybody doing today? Let's see. Get out of there. Good. Happy Wednesday, January 20th. I hope everybody's having a wonderful week so far. So we've talked a lot, and we continue to talk a lot about listings, about inventory, about where are you going to get it, how are you going to get them, who are you going to talk to, what are you going to do. So I'm going to continue on with the same processes and tactical things to do as I was talking about last week. I'm going to walk through what I would do if I was going to start a farm and try to get very strategic about hitting these homes over a period of time of 30, 60, 90 days. So I'm going to show you the pieces that I would use, where I would go, what I would do, and then tell you the plan for the next 30 days. I know we talked a little bit about this last week, but this is where we're going to take it, and it's going to be very prescriptive and tactical. This, then that. Put it onto a sheet. Hold yourself accountable to doing that. So we are jumping right in. Just so you know, I'm probably going to end about 9:15 today, just because I've got a 9:30 that I'll have to get on. Just so you know, so we'll probably be done right about 9:15. Right. So share screen. Jump in here. What I did is I just put together a simple and basic 90-day farming action plan, and it starts with the first 30 days here, and what I would do to set up my farm. And this is similar but different to regular farming. What we have is we have so many tools around us that we can get very strategic with how we hit certain people in our farm. Everybody needs to get a message from us in a farm area, but we have the ability to hit different people with a different kind of message that might be more, it might stand out a little bit more. It might resonate more with these people because we have absentee owners, we have high sales scores, we have people with equity, we have people with interest rates. So we're not just blanketing an area hoping we get something. We're going at them with a message that's going to resonate with them in a specific way. So your first step, well, slow down really quick. Our goals for all of our offices to get to 25% market share in our immediate zip code where the offices are. That's where our focus is going right now. So I really want you to think about that. If you're not going to work a neighborhood in the zip code where your office is, that's fine, but commit to working a different area if this is going to be your focus. We need inventory. And if you have exhausted your sphere, if you have exhausted your social media, if you feel like you've done everything you can and you have not got the results that you want, here's where we can go and get very, very prescriptive and tactical with people that have the opportunity. They own homes. We have a good message that we can bring to them. And if you hit them 2 or 3 times over the next 30 days, 2 or 3 times over the next 60 days, between 30 and 60 days, 2 or 3 times from 60 to 90 days, you'll have a better opportunity of earning some business in that 150 to 300 home farm. So here's what we're going to do. 90-day action plan, really basic. Pick a farm. Pick an area. It does not matter what it is, but pick an area that you want to work. Because you don't want to pick something that you're not going to do. A lot of times we don't do the things we need to do because we pick something that it's not really fun. It's what we think we should do, not what we actually will do. That's why people say, when I talk with people that start, they say I can work real estate for 8 hours. Oh, I've got nothing else to do. I can work 8 hours a day. I can do every day, 7 days a week. Well, that's not really realistic because you're not going to do that. More than likely, you will not do that. Very, very, very few people will actually do it. So commit to doing something that's more in line with the outcomes that you're going to get. What if you committed to doing, yes, I can do that. Okay, what would you commit to doing every single day that's going to be actively prospecting towards real estate? Here's something you could commit to for an hour a day, 2 hours a day, however much you want to. I'm going to do this Monday through Friday or Tuesday through Saturday, and I'm going to do it for an hour and a half a day, 2 hours a day. I'll spread it all out. This is what I will do, and this is what I'm going to commit to doing: active prospecting, talking to people, knocking on doors, sending out mailers, delivering flyers, communicating with people. If that's what you will do and that's what you commit to and you schedule it, that's what's going to get done. So let's talk about farm name. Where are you going to work? Pick the area that you're going to work. Pick the area that you want to work. If you get to choose between doing $100,000 homes and $300,000 homes, or $200,000 homes and $500,000 homes, which one are you going to do? If you are of the mindset that I don't feel I'm good enough to talk to the people who own $500,000 homes, you're not going to go out and talk to them unless you have someone that holds you accountable, a coach that's going to prop you up and make sure that you've got all the tools and everything you need to get out there. So commit to doing what you will do. If you know, hey, I'm going to go talk to the $250,000 homes because those are the ones that are going to sell like that. There's not a lot of them out there. If I find a neighborhood with a bunch of them in there, I might be in a good position to get some listings that'll sell quick. And I've got buyers that may move up to a $300,000 home where there might be a little bit more inventory, a tiny bit. So pick where you're going to work. The first thing you want to do is determine how many homes are in that area. You want to work in an area that's 150 to 300 homes. No less than 150, no more than 300, because then it just becomes a little bit too much. What you want to also think about is in some of our areas where offices are, there are neighborhoods. There are actually, you drive through a gate, you drive through a promenade, an entrance of a neighborhood. Pick the neighborhood, pick a section of the neighborhood. But in some of our areas, I know over in St. Pete and over in the beaches areas, there's not so many of those neighborhoods. It doesn't have to be a dedicated community. It is just going to be where you will work. I'm going to work this street, this street, this street, and this street. It's not a community. It's kind of an area. They call it Jungle Prada, or they call it whatever that is, wherever it's going to be called. But pick an area that you will work. So find something that's going to be that. How are we going to do that? You're going to do it very simply. You can do it in MLS, but I would recommend doing it in Remine. Why? Because we're going to create a cart for them in Remine anyway. So let's go into Remine and pick an area that we're going to work. I typically use one specific area when I do this for for class purposes, but I'm going to pick a different one. So I'm just going to click search. We're going to go through, and I'm going to walk you through what I would be doing if I was looking for a specific area or trying to get a specific area that I want to work. So what I'm thinking about is, I'm thinking I'm going to come into, because I used to live in Riverview. I'm going to focus on this section of Panther Trace in Riverview because this is a good amount of homes. I know some of these are higher dollar homes. So let me come in and zoom in a little bit more. I can see the individual homes. I'm going to take this polygon right here, and I'm going to draw a polygon around these homes. Again, I'm going to walk through every little step so that it makes it let's try and make it easy for you. There's no issues with, I don't know how, I'm not sure what I should do. Okay. And now we have an area. Let's see how many homes that is. 199 homes. That'll work. That's pretty much right in line with what I'm at. 200 homes. 200 homes is great. Why? How many weeks are in a month? 4. If I commit to doing 200 homes, that's 50 a week. 50 a week that I can break it out over a month, and it makes it easy, plus a few extra contacts that we're going to talk about. So here's where we're at. I've got my area that I'm going to work. Clean and simple. I'm going to select all, and then I'm going to create a cart right here. If you notice, if I don't select all, you can't select cart. So select all, cart. Now we have select or create a cart. I want to create one, so it's going to be Panther Trace Farm. Add those properties. Perfect. So now I've got them in a cart. Next, what I want to do, now that I've done that, next questions are number of homes to touch each week. We already did that. 200 homes for the month. That's 50 each week. List price to sale price ratio and absorption rate. So what we'll do is we'll come over to MLS really quick. This is going to give you just some basic stats. This is just showing you I need to get a few stats and show myself that I know what's going on over there. So let's go. We're going to create this. We're going to do the same thing in here. Come into this area. This is where I'm at. We're going to actually, no, sorry, we'll go to stats. Click on stats. This is very easy. My apologies. Sorry. In this area of Panther Trace, you can't choose the specific little space that's there, but you can put an address and do within a half a mile or a quarter mile. So if I picked an address, I could do that. If I wanted to do the whole subdivision, so I have some more information for people about the subdivision that they live in, I'll say legal subdivision name, and then I'm going to come here to sold price, list price ratios. Just click on that button and then generate. And click on the data. In 2016, here's the sold price to list price in 2017 and 2018. So you could get a general idea. Look here in 2020, from January till December, there's only 1 month where prices fell below 100% of what they listed for that they sold for. Is that good information to know? Yes. So basically for this year, the list price to sale price ratio is about 99.5, 99.8. For the most part, it's 100%. The year before, very similar to that. Just get an idea of this is the entire neighborhood that these people live in. Maybe not the specific streets, but the entire neighborhood. So we know that. We can put that, we're going to put that on here. 100%, 99%. You've got an idea. You know that over the last however many years, the list price to sale price ratio has been very good, 98, 99%. So we've been in a good market. But here in Panther Trace, these are all there, and you can export this to a CSV. Okay. Absorption rate. Your absorption rate is where we're going to come here and do a search, and we're going to say the same thing. Let's do legal subdivision of Panther Trace, and how many active are on the market. Back here, city Riverview. No, it's not saying there's any listings in there. Let's see what we got. Let me make sure. Sometimes it messes up a little bit. There's only one. So there's only one home for sale in Panther Trace. And let's go with what's sold. Second. Oh, I misspelled Panther. Thanks, Regina. Fat fingers. Okay, 71 sold. 1 active. 71 sold, 1 active. Okay, so if we've sold 71 homes in the last 6 months, how many homes is that a month? 12 homes a month. So we're selling 12 homes in 1 month. If we have 1 home on the market, your absorption rate is less than 0.1 month. Less than 3 days on market. How do we do that? We determine how many homes are selling over the last 6 months, 71. Divide that by 6, which is basically 12 homes a month. We're selling 12 homes per month. If there's 1 home on the market and there's 12 homes a month, how often is a home selling if there's 12 homes sold every 30 days? Basically every 2 days there's a home selling. So if there's one home on the market, how long will that home take to sell? 2 days based on the stats. So your absorption rate is basically 2 or 3 days for this neighborhood of Panther Trace. Good information to have, something you might want to have. These are talking points as you're talking to people, because your job is to go out and talk to people. You have to have information to talk to them about. So this is really all we're trying to do is just get you versed on the neighborhood, understand a little more knowledge about it. All right, so those are the things that we're going to determine. 200 homes I'm going to talk to. Number of homes per week, that means if I hit 50 per week, I'll be able to hit all of them within 30 days. Our goal is to touch them at least once every 30 days, but probably 2 or 3 times with mailers, door knocks, phone calls, and communication. List price to sale price ratio, basically 100%. And then absorption rate, we have a 0.1 month supply of homes, basically a 2 to 3 day supply of homes in this neighborhood. That's information you should have. You're not going to go straight to the homeowner and tell them that. You're not going to go straight to them and say, this is the absorption rate in your neighborhood, but it's information to have so you can have it in conversation. Next, this is the next thing I would do. Do a neighborhood spotlight video. Shoot a 1 to 3 minute video about the neighborhood. Features, benefits, what's going on in there, who you are, what you love about the neighborhood, what you do. This is where your personality comes out. This isn't a sales pitch for the neighborhood. This is me introducing my neighborhood. If it's somewhere you live, it makes it a little more personable, so that can be good too. But introduce the neighborhood, talk about it, mention the absorption. In the last 6 months, we've had 71 sales, which means that homes have sold on average one home every 2 or 3 days. So a home goes on the market every 2 to 3 days, one sells. So just put some of that into a video. Once you do that neighborhood spotlight video, share it to the neighborhood group. If there isn't a neighborhood group, create one and invite people to that neighborhood group. Share it to whatever neighborhood group that you have. So that way you can put it in there on the given days that they have it, abiding by the rules. Share it to your personal or business Facebook page. Send it to your manager and ask if they can put it on your office Facebook page. So this is something that we are trying to do here in Apollo Beach, get some people to commit to saying, yes, I'd love to do a neighborhood spotlight video for this neighborhood, and we're going to share them on our website. We will help you shoot it. So a neighborhood spotlight, that's the next thing I would do. Next, set up a hot sheet in MLS. We want to set a hot sheet up in MLS because we want to know when homes come on the market and when they sell. So you're going to come here to MLS, click search, click more. Once you come here, wrong one. Which one was it? I just did this. I always lose this one. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Yeah, you can. You can click right on. You can click in here and do that too. If you click customize, but there's also a button up here you can do. So if you hit customize here, if this add button is not available, it's because you have too many hot sheets in there. You'll have to delete one. You can only have 10. So if add is in blue, you have the availability to do it. If it's not, you'll have to delete one of them. So what you'll do is click add. When you click add, I missed the more tab. Thank you. When you click add, you have your hot sheet type, cross property. We're going to go to residential because we're going to do a residential search for our residential neighborhood. What are you going to name it? I'm going to name this my farm just listed, just sold. If you want to label it the name, Panther Trace or whatever your neighborhood is, do that. Click save. Now that it's here, you can edit the criteria. Edit your criteria, and you're going to come over here, new listing and sold. That's what you want. I want to know that whenever a property comes on the market and whenever it sells. And I'll put in here, this is all you have to do. Legal subdivision name if you have it, or you have to click map search and draw a map around it. Either way, whatever works. This one works out with a community. I can just do that and click save. And then I'm done. What does this do for me? I can come here to this farm and click on that, and it says there's nothing. So since I created this hot sheet, nothing has happened. There has not been any listings or any sales. But when I come and I click on this hot sheet later today or tomorrow, if a listing came up, it will say, here's a listing. If a listing sold, it would say, here's a sale. And I would know that a property just listed or just sold, which will trigger me to do some other actions. So like here, if I click on this, nothing in there either. You can set up a saved search or an auto email where it'll send you an email. But if this is going to be your focus, I would say every day when you get into MLS and you start to work, just come here and click on the hot sheet. It'll give you an update from the last time you clicked on your hot sheet. So once you click on the hot sheet, if one new came on market and one sold, it'll say one new, one sold. Tomorrow when you click on it, if nothing has changed since that last time, nothing will be in there. But if there's been another new listing and another new sale, you'll see one new listing, one new sale in there. That's all it's going to show you is what's happened since the last time you clicked on it. So now you have your update. Just listed, just sold. Now we're going to create remind carts. We already did. We created a remind cart already for all the homes in the neighborhood. Next, you want to do is create a cart for absentee owner, high and medium sales scores, and minimum 50,000 equity and 5 years of ownership. So we're going to come back to remind. Here it is. Already still here. I'm going to go to absentee or to absentee. I want absentee in-state or out-of-state, and apply. Not too many, only 17. That's fine. I'm just going to select all, click cart, and just do Panther Trace absentee. Create that. Done. What was the next one? High, medium cell scores. So we have to get rid of that overlay of absentees. We're going to come to high, medium cell scores. So cell score, click on it. High, medium, apply. 25. Good. Select all, create cart. I'm labeling all of these by the neighborhood first because I want to, when they come up, I believe they come up alphabetical or in order, so they're all going to be together. So Panther Trace, cell score. Create it. Done. Uncheck that overlay. Now the last one we want is equity and ownership. Anybody who's got some money in their home. So I want minimum 50,000. You can do more if you would like, but I mean, this is a good start, 50,000. If they've got equity of 50 grand, they're going to be able to sell. So for a $300,000 home, and that's 8% typical to sell a home, that's about 24 grand. That means they'll make $26,000 approximately if they sell their home. So they've got money in it. 50 grand usually is going to give them a little bit of equity where they have the ability to sell. It may or may not be worth it, but that's a good start. You can do 75 or 100 if you want them to be able to put more money in their pocket. But that's just based on the retail value, based on the sale price and what equity they may have. So apply. So 172 of the 200 have equity. Now I want to know ownership time. I'm going to combine these two together, 5 years minimum. Apply. So I want people who have owned it. So there's 100 people that have equity that have owned it. People generally move every 5 to 7 years right now. So all of these people that have owned it at least 5 years, there's a possibility they may move, and they all have some equity in their house where they might and they can move. If this is too many for you, go back here to home equity. And if you want to do that and do something higher, do 75,000 and see if that brings it down to something that you feel is more manageable. It only took 2 out. So again, maybe you do 100,000. 95. People have equity in this neighborhood. That's great news. Wonderful. So I'm going to select all, create a cart, and do that again. Panther Trace, equity, ownership. Create the cart. Done. Now we have all of the information that we need there. Next, expired, canceled, not relisted. We're going to create. What we're doing is we're doing all of the things that we're going to use to talk to the people. We're getting it done now. That way there's no excuse. That way you don't go, oh, I got to go to Remine and I got to pull them out and I got to find a cart. No, you don't. It's already done. We're doing it all now. Let's do all the legwork now so that there's no excuse for you not to do it. Next, IMAP. You're going to use IMAP. So come into Matrix, click on tax, click on IMAP. It'll open this up. Use MLS search. Come down here. You can use you can do in the specific area. You can do streets, but let's just say there may or may not be a ton in here. So I'm going to focus on this neighborhood here, but I'm just for purposes of making it quicker. Subdivision contains Panther Trace. Listing status. I want canceled, not relisted. And I'm going to create a search. There's 23 homes. Once you have this, what you're going to do is you are going to download results and download them to your computer and put them in a folder. Now you have them. So download all fields, or you just select the fields. I think you really only need to select fields. In the fields that you're going to need are I'll come here from list price and list date and come down through all of this. City name, state, zip code. So that's going to tell you when the property did go on the market, what the price was, and what that address is. And then we have owner information. So this is just to get us a list of the information here. So public record. So we're going to have that. Okay. So and then you'll do a comma separated value, download it. Now you have that. You've got one list of the canceled, not relisted. Now this is going to be all of Panther Trace. We can find the ones that are in our area. I already see 3 homes that are in that specific area. Next, you want expired, not relisted. And same thing, start search. There's 39. So there's 39 plus 23, 62 homes that went on the market. This is pretty much ever in this MLS, what MLS can find. So there's that many homes that have expired and not relisted, or canceled and not relisted, that should probably get a CMA from you. And I'm going to show you what we'll do. So then the same thing, you can download those results. I really don't, these are all in your area. You don't need to create mailing labels. You don't need to mail something to them. You need to go to them. So that's why I'm not worried about mailing labels right now. Mailing labels they're fine. You can mail something, but mailing is a waste of time for these expired and not relisted, because there's a bunch of people else mailing them. And if somebody else mails them today, it's going to get there in 3 to 5 days. If you go knock on their door, you'll be there in 30 minutes. Your job is to talk to them. Get a CMA to them, which we'll talk about in a second. So now that you have that, the last one is Toolkit CMA. Use Toolkit CMA to create a CMA only presentation. So we're going to create some CMAs for, it's in 21 online. We're going to create some CMAs for people. You can do it in Remine, but I personally don't like, I can log in as Greg, yay. I personally don't like the way that it's presented in Remine. I think it's a little bit better through 21 online and Toolkit CMA. So we're going to come here. Toolkit CMA is in 21 online. What do you do? What do you choose to do when the neighborhood is a no solicitation neighborhood? Well, if you're not asking them for business and you're just providing information, I'm providing value to you. Here is a CMA. This is what your home is worth. You're not soliciting for business. So there's just different ways to approach that. It just depends. But if you are a real estate professional and you're there to provide value to these consumers, then you're going to be going and giving them value and providing value to them in the form of a, here's what your home is worth. Right, so Toolkit CMA, we're going to log into that. I've already set this up. Okay, so we're gonna do create presentation, because we want to set up these defaults. CMA only presentation. That's it. We're doing a CMA only. This is going to be branded to you, branded to Century 21. Create a new presentation. You're going to want to do a cover page, and then I've already had these chosen. What I can do is I'll take a snippet of this and I'll add it to the farm sheet that I have, so you know which ones that I chose and you can look at them. But this is going to be your message to them, what you want to send. I have it set as default. And now we are good to go. That's set up. So when you want to do a CMA only presentation for your properties, I want to provide a CMA. What you're going to do is go through and put in their name, address, next, and basically upload MLS information. And we'll go through that in another class. We'll do one fully through that. But you have the default set up. You know where it is. That's the idea. Get that. First week, now that you have all of this stuff, you have everything you need to hit them. You have all the information you need to hit all of these homes. The next thing you're going to do is use a Remine cart of the entire neighborhood and create a mailer to all the homes. Remine. We're going to go to my carts. Now, you don't have to use Remine to mail it. But if you are not going to print the letter out, stuff it in an envelope, buy the stamps, or go to get the postage and drop them off, use Remine. Panther Trace Farm. Click on it. I'm going to select all the properties and click send mailers. name, Panther Trace initial or Panther Trace farm. That's all I'm going to send it off. Build a campaign. Remind's going to do this, and it'll do everything for you. You can send a postcard. You can send a letter. I'm going to say send a letter, and I've got a copy of the letter that we'll use. So go here. We're going to use yellow letters. It's $175 for 200 letters. I'm asking you to commit to the next 90 days, once a month, send at least one mailer to your farm. That's $175. Let's just say make it 200 bucks. That's $600 over the next 90 days you're going to spend on mailers just to make sure that there's another touch point in front of them. And if you don't want to spend the money, do it on your own. Yeah, letters take up to 7 to 14 days before they mail. That's fine. That's why we are going to do more than that. The letter is just, it's literally just something that's going to get out to them at some point over the next 30 days. And then again, next month, you're going to send something else. And again, the next month, you're going to send something else. This isn't meant, we're not doing this for the just listed, just sold, the expireds. This is literally just getting that. Because I focus on, and I said because it looked handwritten, she opened it. Exactly. That's why these yellow letters, these look more handwritten. So they're going to look like that. You can handwrite your own letters. You can handwrite the envelope. You can do all of that. When you do it through Remind, you're going to create a letter that looks basically like this, that looks more handwritten. It's still not quite, but it still looks better than just a professional kind of marketing piece. And then we have I do a letter over here. Here's your farming letter. And I put this letter together just using our basic script that we are using, calling for inventory. So look, I need your help. I know you're busy, so we'll make it quick. Again, we're just trying to talk to them like we would be talking to them if they were in front of us. We have a major real estate problem. Florida's the #2 state for people choosing to move to in the U.S., but when they get here, there aren't enough homes on the market to choose from. Add to that mortgage rates in the twos, and we've got a perfect storm to create multiple offers on nearly every home and drive sale prices sky high. Here's where I need your help. You own a home, and we need more homes to sell. If you've even remotely considered a move or had the thought for the right price, I'd consider selling my home. Everybody has that price. You talk to people, what do they say? Oh, I mean, well, if you bring me a buyer at this price, so for the right price, I'd consider selling my home. Now is the perfect time to consider a little more. I'd love to show you where you stand in today's market and how much equity you're sitting on. You might be surprised at the number. Here's the best part. Once we know how you stack up and where you stand, we might already have a buyer for your home. You see, your neighbors are selling their homes and receiving multiple offers. When a home receives multiple offers, there can only be one that wins the bid, leaving us with 5, 10, sometimes 15 disappointed buyers who chose your neighborhood as the one for their family. They're emotionally attached, ready to move, and have no place to go. If you'd like to take advantage of this once in a blue moon opportunity, please call me at this number and just tell me for the right price, I'd consider selling my home. Let's take the next steps together to see if it makes sense. A simple, basic letter, you're just going to mail them. Write it, copy it, do it through Remind. However you do it, get it done and send it out. Get it to them so that there's something out there. And maybe they saw it, maybe they didn't. But the point is, we're going to do multiple touch points in every single neighborhood over the next 30 days, 30 to 60 days, 60 to 90 days, multiple different touch points through different homeowners with strategy to it, but also with the intent of trying to help them. So now you have a letter that goes out to them. Now you're going to begin your just listed, just sold, and or for the right price, circle prospecting all your homes. So in Remind, you have your carts and you have your farm. You can literally come right here, go down one by one. This is one way you can do it. Click on this. This is going to be the listing information or the public record information. This one has down at the bottom, you're going to come down here to associated people. And here's people that are associated with it. Some are going to say DNC, some will have email, some will have phone numbers, and you're going to start calling them. And you're going to use our basic script. That's also down here. We need inventory script. Now, this is more for your sphere, but this is going to be the same kind of concept. Same concept will change a few things. And you're just calling and asking them, hey, right now rates are ridiculously low. Your home might be worth more than you thought. Your neighbor selling your home may have affected the value of your home. So there's different messages that you're going to bring them. You're going to start calling them. I would also, what I would do here is I would start off with just listed, just sold. So you may not have any that just listed now, but go back 30 days. Look what homes listed in the last 30 days. Look at what homes sold in the last 30 days. Pick one of them and call your neighbors. Hey, do you see your neighbor's home that sold over on Newberry Grove for $450,000? And I was just curious if you'd like to know a little more information about that. That one sold to multiple offers, sold over asking price, below asking, whatever it was. Talk to them about it and tell them, hey, your neighbor listing their home may have affected the value of your home. For the right price, would you consider selling your home? Here's the best part. We might already even have a buyer in a pocket and making for a painless sale for you. So you're going to get through all of the homes in the neighborhood. Again, you're going to be doing that. 200 homes. You're going to make sure you call all of the 200 homes over this next 4 weeks with a just listed, just sold script. Or you're going to knock on their doors if there are no phone numbers with a just listed, just sold script. Okay. Week 2, we're going to focus on absentee owners in your farm. You're still making just listed, just sold calls because you got 200 homes, 50 a week. That's 10 calls a day. So you're making 10 phone calls a day or 10 door knocks a day to just listed, just sold. Absentee owners, you're either going to mail or drop off a CMA. If they're absentee in state and their home is in our area, go drop a CMA on their doorstep. If they're out of state, outside of our area, mail them a CMA. Okay? Call all of them that have phone numbers. And when you call all of them that have phone numbers, here's your script that you're going to use. Or when you go knock on their door, if they're there and you drop the CMA off, here's the script you're going to use along these lines. If they're out of the area and you mail them a CMA, in our CMA only presentation, there's a spot here. Once you get through this in your CMA only presentation in Toolkit CMA, that you're going to be able to customize. Let's go back. This cover letter. This cover letter right here, thank you so much for the opportunity to present this enclosed market for your. What you're going to include in there is this letter. Just an absentee owner letter. I was wondering if you'd be open to a conversation about your property that you own here in this city. I think you might be interested to learn about the recent market changes and how it's impacted the property values. And we're going to put this in with the CMA, enclosed as a comparable market analysis. Okay. That's week 2. Week 3, expired, canceled, not relisted. You're going to get a CMA and you're going to deliver it to every single expired, not relisted in your farm, or canceled, not relisted. And call all of them that did not answer the door if there's a phone number in Remite. And continue on with your just listed, just sold till you get through the 200. Week 4, we're going to do high, medium sell scores. Deliver a CMA to all of them. And then anybody with equity over 50,000 or 5 years or more of ownership, or 75, 100,000, whatever numbers you used, and then continue on with those sales. These are the steps that I would do. But I would know when I do it. I would say every day between 4 and 6, or every day between 1 and 3, or every day from 9:30 till 12:30. Pick the time you're going to focus on these action items and do them. To make 10 phone calls a day shouldn't take you more than an hour. To go knock on 10 doors should not take you more than an hour. It might take you 2 hours to get through 10 to 15 doors, or 10 to, but we saw there was only 20, 25 absentee owners. If you do that for the week, that's only 5 a day. That shouldn't take you more than an hour. So you have an hour, and then you have an hour to put together your CMAs that you're going to drop off. So there's not a lot of action that's going to be needed to do here once you put it together and we have everything available to you and you're just going and talking to people. Questions? Anybody have any questions online? Anybody have any questions in the room? This is what I would do if I wanted to get strategic with a farm. If I didn't want to just go out and talk to people, hey, market's crazy, you want to list your house? Hey, market's crazy, you want to list your house? I'm going to be strategic with it. I'm going to become the neighborhood expert put a video together, know everything about the neighborhood, go knock on their doors, talk about the home that was just listed down the street or just sold down the street. So I have a message for them, letting them know about that, call them, telling them that. They're going to already have a mailer in their mailbox from me because I created that and sent it out. I'm going to go back another time and blanket the neighborhood with flyers of some kind, just dropping a flyer off because I'm going to be knocking on everybody's door at some point throughout the rest of the time, but I want them to see my face another time. I wanted to see my face, my company, my brand, my colors, my everything. That's what I want them to see so that I'm more welcomed. And if it's in your immediate area where your office is, you will be more recognized because your office is there and you've been doing that, or there's people in our neighborhoods or we've been listing homes and they're going to recognize that and they know of you already. It just makes more sense to do it in those immediate areas because they're going to say, oh, Beggins, I see your signs. Or Beggins, I know somebody that works over there. Oh, Beggins, I know one of my friends is an agent. I'd use them. That's excellent. I'm so happy that you know a Beggins agent. I would rather you work with one of our agents than anybody else. They'll make sure they take good care of you. Let me know. Did you have any questions for me while I'm here? I'll make sure when I see Susie, Rachel, LaShonda, whoever, I'll make sure when I see them, I tell them I talked to you and have them reach out to you. Right? Any questions? Yes, I'm going to clean up the action items list a little bit and add a couple other little things in there and continue to build it out. But what I would prefer to do, because this is this action plan, when I share it out, it's a shared document and everybody can collaborate on it. I would prefer to send you an individual one for you. So if you want a copy of that, let me know. I'll make a copy and I'll put your name on it. And it'll like Regina, you asked for, I said, Regina Mann farming plan. Send me an email. I'll send one specifically to you because not everybody's going to do this. And I don't want everybody just going in kind of toying around with it because every time I send out a shared document, if I'll make an original copy, but every time we send one out, your job is to make a copy of it and make one of your own so that if it does get changed, you have one, but it doesn't happen. So we'll just make it easy. For those of you that will commit, I've got, I will send you one specifically just for you. That's going to be for your neighborhood. And that's it. 9:15, almost on the dot, 9:14. And I'm going to have to get off here in a second. So if there's no other questions, thank you so much for tuning in. Commit to doing something, commit to a schedule. Let's figure out what you're going to do today. What are you going to do different today? If you want something better, you've got to be better. If you want something different, you have to do something different. So let's commit to doing something else today and have a wonderful day.